Andrew Rogers. Swonderful, Andrew. Swonderful. Welcome to the Penny Stamps Distinguished Speaker Series. My name is Christina Hamilton, the series director. Today, we present Japanese architect and designer Keiji Ashizawa, speaking on community building and DIY design. And I think the application of this is going to be even more timely than we could have ever predicted in the face of our most recent natural disasters to the south, and as the impending likelihood of man's own man-made disasters increases, we should all heed some good lessons offered here today. I want to thank our partners for their support of the program. We are in partnership with the Center for Japanese Studies, with additional support from the Detroit Design Festival happening this weekend downtown. You shouldn't miss it. Arts Engine, the Bicentennial Office, and Michigan Radio 91.7 FM. This evening's lecture is also part of a Center for Japanese Studies series, which is ongoing, entitled Building Community in Detroit and Regional Japan. This is a 4-day symposium with many public talks, workshops, exhibitions dedicated to showcasing collaborations between local community building groups and initiatives in communities of northeastern Japan that were impacted by the 2011 earthquake and tsunami. All of these events are free and open to the public. And in particular, I think you should take note, tomorrow evening, you should join Keiji Ashizawa in downtown Detroit for the opening of Ishinomaki Laboratory. This is the debut US exhibition for Ishinomaki Laboratory. All of the furniture in the exhibition itself has actually been produced locally here in the Brightmoor neighborhood of Northwest Detroit by local woodworkers, not imported from Japan. And this exhibition is being held at the newly relocated Carr Center. This is on Woodward Avenue downtown. You can RSVP via Eventbrite, get more information on this and all other symposium events going on at the Center for Japanese Studies website. And in addition, there's literature out in the lobby, which you can take with you. They're also providing a bus if you want to get downtown tomorrow to Detroit or Saturday, so free rides as well. And for animation fans, one note. There is a free public screening of the Black Maria Film Festival presenting award-winning short animation and experimental films. This will be Monday at 6 o'clock in Art and Architecture. So animation fans, look out. We're going to have a regular Q&A today, so if you want to meet Keiji afterwards and ask a few questions, please join us. We will not be holding Q&A in here. Exit the theater, go to your left, and down a hallway you'll find the screening room, which is where we will convene directly after his talk here. And now, for a proper introduction of our guest, here to do the honors, we have a great colleague and partner of the Penny Stamp series. He is the coordinator for engaged learning and Japan partnerships at the Center for Japanese Studies, where he manages the Ishinomaki Detroit Collaborative, which is a transnational service learning initiative forging partnerships between community efforts in Japan and Detroit. Please welcome Brad Hammond.
Hello. Thank you for that kind introduction, Christina. There's really no overstating what a fantastic job you do every year with the Stamps Lecture Series. This event is just one of the crown jewels of life at U of M in this city. So can I ask all of you to join me in giving Christina and her team a round of applause? And thanks to you all as well for joining us this evening, this Thursday. My name is Brad Hammond, as Christina mentioned, and I coordinate engaged learning at the Center for Japanese Studies. And tonight, I have the immense honor of introducing you to Keiji Ashizawa. I first met Keiji in 2014. I was a grad student at U of M and interning for a community organization in Ishinomaki, a city that was devastated by the Great East Japan earthquake of 2011. I worked for an organization called Ishinomaki 2.0. Ishinomaki 2.0 was founded after the tsunami, and as the name implies, not to rebuild the city as it was, but to create a more dynamic and sustainable city than the one destroyed in the disaster. I was struck by the parallels with Detroit, for better and for worse. In Southeast Michigan, we are not strangers to this sort of genre of redevelopment. Detroiters are well acquainted with its good intentions and painfully familiar with its penchant for failure as well. But I was also inspired, particularly by the work of Ishinomaki Laboratory, a DIY furniture maker created by Keiji Ashizawa, who himself is from Tokyo. He created this place in partnership with local youth, longtime residents, and an all-star team of designers and engineers from Herman Miller. What makes Ishinomaki Laboratory's work unique is its fundamental commitment to participatory and community-centered design. The benches, tables, and stools that became Ishinomaki Laboratory's founding product line were designed with and made with, rather than for, the dispossessed communities that would use them. Keiji's genius is that he saw in the rebuilding effort a chance to help others build creative competence. Keiji used his talents not to build what he thought Ishinomaki needed, but rather to empower the people who already lived there to actualize their own creativity for ends of their choosing. These values of community-centered design are what informed the collaboration between Ishinomaki Laboratory and the Brightmoor Makerspace in Northwest Detroit, more about which you'll hear tonight. They are also the values which bring us together here to reflect on our university's roots in Detroit with the U of M Bicentennial and our responsibilities to the city of Detroit in partnership with the Detroit Design Festival. So with that in mind, I thought it'd be fitting to close my introduction of Keiji with a quote from an essay called The Kidnapped Children of Detroit by the local writer and poet Marcia Music. It is the charge of our new Detroiters to acknowledge and respect those already here, to actually see longtime residents, for we are not invisible. Our new residents must learn from our history and experience. They must work alongside our earlier residents and their children in Detroit's renewal, for they are the bedrock of the redeveloped city and the nexus of its future. Let us figure out, this time, how to come home to live in the city, so that more of our children and grandchildren might also be part of a truly new Detroit. Young people come to be freed from their lives of suburban isolation and the crippling divisions of this region. They want to be a part of a new urban reality. It is true that some say that they have come to save Detroit, but I say they come to Detroit to be saved. Please join me in welcoming Keiji Ashizawa.
Hello. Thanks for a beautiful introduction, Brad, and also Christina. It's much more beautiful than me, actually. And yeah, also thanks for giving me this opportunity. That's amazing. I can talk Ishinomaki Laboratory here because it's for me Ishinomaki Laboratory should spread or should share with as much as more people. And so anyway, yeah, I will start. Okay? Okay. So yeah, today's topic is Ishinomaki Laboratory and process design. And before talking about the Ishinomaki Laboratory, I should explain a little bit myself. I'm an architect and designer. And you can see the logo, Super Robot. Yeah, this is 15 years ago. Yeah, totally, more slim, more hair, unfortunately. But after studying architecture school, I worked in office 6 years, and I tried to establish my office, but not so easy, for young people to establish architecture office. So then I decided to collaborate with a steel worker in Tokyo, 2 years. And then, yeah, actually I learned a lot here. Yeah, you can see many materials here, and I made many furniture, and also I collaborated with many architects and interior designer. So for example, this light, so we produced, yeah, it's so super happy days for me, to touch the material and to think design and also to think about future here. And after this, so I could establish my design office. So my office is a little bit, how to say, it's not like a normal architecture office. I design architecture and also the interior design and a lot of product design. This is from IKEA, but I think you can buy now, or I'm not sure. So, okay. So then I go back to the Ishinomaki Laboratory. So when I hit an idea about the Ishinomaki Laboratory, I asked a graphic designer to design the logo. And this logo always put on our furniture as a branding. Okay, so I will explain this logo. So Ishinomaki means a city name or district name. And so this logo just open, so means open gate and or open creativity or an open for ideas. So we created this logo at first, actually before starting our project. So I think I should explain about Ishinomaki. This is Japan island. It's quite long. And Tokyo, and I live here now. Also my studio in Tokyo. And by car, around 5-6 hours. So when tsunami came, so 2011, when we go to the Ishinomaki, at that time, so we have to drive. So usually 6 hours, takes 6 hours. It's really painful time. Actually, because the road is not nice, and always stop in so many places. And, but now we can go by train, around 3 hours and 4 hours. So by using the bullet train, and also the distance, 250 miles, it's correct? I just calculate, 400 kilometers around. Okay. And then the population, it's 147,000. You noticed. So recently you saw the lots of this map, right? So that's why somehow I have to draw. And also the area, it's 550 per square kilometer. You can feel it's big or not. So anyway, in Japan, this is a kind of a middle city. And at the same time, they are having problems. So young people, have to go out of the city to get a job, or no creativity. And then because I collaborated the Ishinomaki area since 2007, because I had a good friend there. And then, but at that time, so yeah, I could enjoy, but I couldn't inspire from the city. So because so I feel something, I say, a bit kind of a boring suburb city. But so 2011, so they had a big earthquake and tsunami. So here, this is the center of the earthquake, 2011. It's very close to the Ishinomaki. So then you can imagine how big earthquake and the tsunami in Ishinomaki. Okay, this is a picture of the Ishinomaki city, 2011 on March. So very close to my client place, and also very close to my partner, Takahiro Chiba, the house, and also his restaurant place. Tsunami came several times, and then stayed the water, I think a couple of days. So looks really beautiful, but no electricity, no gas, and then just quiet space. At that time, I couldn't contact with my client because no telephone. I just keep watching the news and also the Twitter, and then I kept calling to my client, but no answer. Yeah, that's a very scary time. So my client called me after probably 1 week or 10 days or something, and then he asked me to come to the Ishinomaki because I designed his restaurant 2010, and then tsunami came in 2011. So he just organized 6 months. It's a new restaurant. And at the same time, the first floor restaurant and the second floor is his house. So you can see, so house almost break. So I saw this situation, and then I realized that, yeah, I have to demolish this house. And also that you can see the really big ship. This is a very dangerous ship in the tsunami because you can imagine if a ship go into the house, that's a disaster. And usually, city area, tsunami height is around 2 meters and 4 meters. So my client place is around 3 meters tsunami. So then they can survive in the second floor. And they used to organize the small hotel. So that's why that they have a beautiful tatami place on the second floor. It's quite a big space. So that's why I brought my friends, also brought the electrician, also the steel worker, and so probably they could help me to renovate his restaurant. And at the same time, I brought lots of food and also the beer and also sake, because after working a lot, so we should talk in a relaxed. And then maybe this one is a second or third time dinner or at night. But we discussed a lot, because after such a disaster, they have to survive, also that they have to redevelop the city. So young people here in Ishinomaki have to think or have to do something. And then I decided to help with my profession, but not so easy to find some right answer. At the time, so I had a project with IKEA, and then I went to Sweden, and I saw the public workshop in Göteborg, Gothenburg, and then such a beautiful public workshop, and then my friend said the public workshop produced new creativity, new sculpture in front of the station, new fashion brand. And then I was super impressed. I was really inspired. And after that, I came back to the Ishinomaki, and this guy, restaurant owner, Jidaya restaurant, quite famous restaurant in Ishinomaki. He's a super energetic guy to restore by himself. And then also the many volunteers help him. And then I think he opened the restaurant end of the March 2000, end of the May 2011. So then many volunteers, went to this restaurant and to eat and to drink and everyday party situation. It's quite successful restaurant at that time. And then I saw such a situation. Okay, so probably every citizen have a skill to repair their house or restaurant. So probably, so city recovers so quickly. Of course, they could hire carpenter or some electrician, but at that time, disaster area, it's really huge. So then such a professional people, super busy, and then they don't care about the residential project or some small restaurant. So probably if I could open the public workshop and I could teach how to make something, so probably it helps a lot, I thought. And then I asked a graphic designer to make a logo. Also, that I found an appropriate place in a city center, and I put a sticker on in front of the door. And at the same time, I got a donation from the government, also from the timber company from Canada. And I got lots of timber, and I bought so many tools. Yeah, this is the first our workshop. It's quite rough, but lots of material. And then, it's not so healthy situation, but we could make something here. And I always lock the key, but I put the number of the, in front of the door, so then everyone can enter, everyone can rent our tools, and then, but actually, it's not so easy to organize. Sometimes I have to come here. But at the same time, I have to do something. I have to show, our way. So then I decided to restore a small bar. I found this place. It's quite small. And then tsunami hits, whole area and almost destroyed. But it's so small, that's why I could repair by ourselves. At that time, I saw it. And then, we started repairing the bar. I think every 2 weeks at the time I came here, and then 2 days or 3 days, repairing. And then also some local friends helped me. Okay, this is the video. Stop. Also, so later I will explain. So Hamamira team also joined to repair something. And then we could open this bar. But you already noticed, not only Japanese, but Japanese usually quite shy to speak. But after 2 drinks, they start talking, laughing, dancing, singing. So that's why for me, it's quite makes sense to make a bar in that area. So then we could talk with the volunteers and the locals, and then super successful at the moment. Now, still open, but not every day. But it's a kind of iconic bar. When I go to the Ishinomaki, I always try to visit here. Only around 10 people, but in the summertime, sometimes more than 30 people. It's a crazy situation. And in front of the bar, lots of people stay there. And then they use our bench. And also the workshop with students. I Googled architecture in Ishinomaki. So then I found high school students. And I called them, and asked them to join our workshop. And I talked with them, okay, now you have a chance to create a city. You should join now. So then around 20 high school students joined my workshop. So we decided to make a bench, because a bench, it's not a personal one. It's a public, in the park, on the road, even in front of the shops. And then, so we decided to design the bench, and we produced a bench. So finally, we produced for the outdoor movie theater. Okay, also at the time, small movie. Yeah, we enjoyed a lot, actually, only 2 days. Around 42 or 43 benches we could make. So outdoor movie theater. we showed. This is the 2011, 2014. Yeah, it's during the summer festival. Finally, you must be proud. So Hamamira team knew our activity, so then they offered me to collaborate with a project in Ishinomaki. So then we discussed with the CEO, president of the Hamamira Japan, and then we tried to make lots of workshops with the citizens. So because I think it's quite easy to give the furniture for them. I think it helped anyway. But I noticed, I think they should know the DIY skill. So then such a skill help more to stay in a suburb such an area, and also to stay in a temporary house. Because a temporary house, it's a totally disaster house, very thin wall, almost no insulation. But Ishinomaki, summer is really hot, and winter is really cold, like here, I think. No? And then, and then same time we found a method, simple material, simple tools. And then we asked to timber company. We bought lots of timber, 2x6. I think you know you mean 2x6, 2x4, 2x2. At that time, it's only 3 materials we bought. And then also that we bought lots of circular saw. Not lots, I think 2 or 3. Yeah. And then that's all. Such a simple workshop. And they can bring any places in a car. And then, so we could make workshop in a temporary house, elementary school, and a public space. So furniture for temporary house, that's our theme with the Hamamira workshop. So yeah, this is furniture for the temporary house. This is actually the steps in the house. Also the outside small chair, because they use the plastic case as a chair, also as a stool. And it's a bit shame, such a disaster situation, and also the very cheap house in a plastic chair. Oh, it's really disaster. So then, so we designed this stool, and quite easy to make. You can see only 2 material, 2x6, 2x2, and then you can see the 2x6, 2x4, 2x2. Now we are having another material, but at the time it's only 3 material we just use. Yeah, such a simple furniture, such a simple design. So then we could collaborate with elementary school. So Hamamira team gathered elementary school students. So they made a lot. Actually, only 2 hours, 6 chairs, 1 boy. Yeah, they could make actually such a simple stool, but it's really strong enough. So if you can visit our exhibition place in Detroit, so please try. It's really strong. And also the bench workshop with temporary house residents. You can see the blue box under the bench, but it's really helpful. And also this workshop quite famous at the time. So then many branded team copy our bench, but that's good. That's good because it's a beautiful bench. So then they really want to copy. So that's why I have to design quite nicely. Otherwise, bad design of the copy, it's really bad. So the copy of good design, it's okay. Okay, I saw the many Hammer Miller chair, even the Detroit City, but it's not Hammer Miller chair. It's a copy, but it's still okay. Something like this. So my stool, so Victor and Albert Museum bought as a collection. So somehow, we had an exhibition in London. So then they loved our furniture, also our story. So anyway, okay. But at the same time, such a volunteer activity face to a wall, probably you can imagine, because energy, passion is losing after the disaster. After 6 months, after 10 days, people really want to do. But after 6 months, okay, someone want to do, and after 1 year, oh, it happens, something like this. So, but I realized, because I commute to Ishinomaki, so Ishinomaki needs to have more help, and also needs to have a different help, more like a professional help. So then we decided to keep this Ishinomaki Laboratory project. So then we found this place. Hammer Miller team and volunteer made wall and paint. And then, so we created a workshop, also some public space. So name is Irori Ishinomaki. So after making this one, so Ishinomaki 2.0, Brad joined as an intern, used the space for their space, their office. Also that they are open, their projects, as their project, they use this space. This is 2016, 2017 now. So Ishinomaki 2.0 renovated nicer. It's a bigger space and a cafe, and also lots of small office space. It's a quite beautiful space now. And then, so I made a space, but I need a partner. And then I found a guy. So actually, this space, my client place. So I redesigned this place, and the Hammer Miller team had a dinner here. And then my partner cooked for Hammer Miller team. This guy, you can see? So Takahiro Chiba. So he used to be a sushi chef. Takahiro and the children. So he used to be sushi chef, but of course his restaurant also had a big tsunami, and then so his family have to quit restaurant business, and then so but he's a very happy guy, and then he survived from the part-time job. And then my client, restaurant owner, used him to serve the food for the Hammer Miller team. But at the same time, I saw he's very good at making things. So then I talked to him, okay, please join us, and we can collaborate something. And then, but he's happy to make something. So then he joined us. Yeah, he's wrong the spell maybe. Yeah, he organized a workshop. Also, he organized a space, organizing workshop. And then same time, of course, we need money to keep such a place, because we have to pay money for the owner. Owner also have a resident in Ishinomaki, so he had suffer from the tsunami. So then we have to pay money. So then we decided to sell our stool, our bench, and then but that's becoming super famous, because our bench, I didn't intend to sell when I designed. Also the stool, I didn't intend to sell, but somehow such a honest feeling, we could sell very well, and then he's becoming super busy. So then So he needed staff. So then I gave the staff from Tokyo first time, and more staff from local. We moved to the next place. We renovated another place. So, but still, we keep the same concept: simple material, simple tools, simple design. So then, even we invite, students, so they can join immediately. They can make our furniture. And of course, at first, so they need more like 1 week and 2 weeks to learn. But something like learning ski or snowboard, first, second days, it's a little bit, so difficult. But after 2 days, probably you can use a lift and you can go down. So DIY skill, something like this. And even our furniture is super simple. So then they could join our factory, our workshop. Okay, I show you, happy to show our furniture, Ishinomaki bench. This is the first bench for the movie, outdoor movie theater. One of the best seller. AA stool, this is a best seller. Super simple. And then we have a 3 sizes, small, medium, big. So big one, you can use as a treasure. And stool, bench, table, very simple furniture. But it's really nice, actually. It's very stable. And table, I designed this table for the Irori Ishinomaki. It's a place we renovated. And the carry stool. I asked Tomoko Azumi, who lived in London. Yeah, he designed a beautiful small stool. Very nice. So such a simple structure, such a simple shape, we can integrate it anyway. I show you. Yeah, we designed the shop by Ishinomaki Laboratory furniture, everything. So even the joint, it's made by steel. So then we take out, we can sell as a furniture. Such a simple design, simple method. So then we often use this method for the teaching architecture students. We held a 1-week workshop, and then they created, some cabin or some space by our same material. Also, that we had a workshop in Philippines. You noticed Takahiro Chiba? It's a black T-shirt. It's almost inside. And also that we use the local material in Philippines. Also a workshop in France, Borbichet. It's a quite famous workshop place in France. So they invited maybe around 20 or 30 designers and architects to have a workshop every year. So they invited us 2016 to have a workshop in the Ishinomaki Laboratory. I explained Ishinomaki Laboratory story, and yeah, we created some furniture for the landscape. Something like this. But at the same time, so we had a lot of workshops in Ishinomaki and Tokyo. So because still quite important to teach DIY skills to survive. In Japan, actually, lots of disaster, typhoon, earthquake, North Korea, maybe. It's a little bit recently. So then teaching the Ishinomaki Laboratory method, it's for us, it's quite an important thing to survive. Also, to learn, to learn the life. Same time, we always invite designer. So the designer entered our workshop and then stayed 2 days. And then we created a workshop, products prototype. We also invited Aisha Basel. She's a very famous furniture designer in New York. And then she designed a beautiful table, okamochi table. Now you could buy Hamamura flagship shop in New York. At the same time, so many architect, also designer, support us. So, for example, one architect designed for Blue Bottle Coffee in Japan. So he used our furniture. Also, the Amazon Tokyo, we sold a lot actually. So they loved our furniture. Yeah, I will see this Sunday, Hamamura flagship shop, so you can buy our furniture. And then we had lots of exhibition in Tokyo, and also in the world actually. So we don't only showing the furniture, we always showing our story, also always showing our method and our idea, our concept. Exhibition in Singapore, showing the simplicity. So now we have a Tokyo showroom. If you come to Tokyo, if you don't have enough time to visit the Ishinomaki Laboratory, Ishinomaki, it's 4 hours from Tokyo. So then please visit us, Tokyo showroom. Something like this, renovated from the factory. Yeah, this is the current Ishinomaki Laboratory. It's huge, around 1,000 square meters. We have a showroom upstairs. And then many international media took up our furniture, not only showing our design, showing the process, also showing the story. So wallpaper. So recently, we had a beautiful email from Uni Karunakara. So he's Indian. He's a former president of the Doctor Without Border. So now he's in Congo now. And then he emailed us. So he was super inspired from the Ishinomaki Laboratory activities. But he is more inspired from design, simplicity. And he answered the interview, seeking simplicity. And he mentioned about our activities. And then he mailed recently, he want to come to Ishinomaki and Tokyo. He want to be internship in the Ishinomaki Laboratory. More than 50 years old now, but an intern, you know. But he said he want to learn our process, also our method. This is the last story, made in local project. We exported our furniture to Singapore, London, Melbourne, France, lots of city we exported. But so recently, we changed the way to sell. We decided to collaborate with a local team. So then, for example, this stool made in London. They tried to branding. This is also the made in local project. Actually, this is a made in Detroit. Bright rooms maker, yeah. You will see in the exhibition. Because it's quite important for us, our furniture is just simple, you know. Our team is not so big, but it's more important to share with our idea. So at the time, so we have to find the best way to share. And then of course, we got a small royalty from the company. But for example, if I collaborate with UNI, Doctor Without Borders, no royalty, totally fine. And also collaborate with Detroit, probably no royalty. So, but it's quite important to share with ideas, stories. This is tomorrow. No. This is a poster whose exhibition schedule in Detroit. Tomorrow, opening party, 7 p.m. And the 30, we have a workshop. Thanks to Brad, I had so many workshop and lecture during 4 days. I just came yesterday. Two lecture, 3 workshop. I will do it the same, Brad, in Japan, of course. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. So if you have some questions, so we will move to small spaces. Screening rooms. Thank you. See you soon. Perfect?
Yeah, it's good.
It's okay?
But right on time.
Really?